Only meet the third Thursday of the month, but because of circumstances, we delayed 1 week to have a meeting today. All meetings are conducted here at the Ports of Redevelopment and Housing Authority main office, which is here at 3116 South Street, unless otherwise noticed, and all members of the public are welcome to us. So thank you for being here. We've got a couple items of business that we're going to go over first. Our meetings usually last a couple hours, so I'm going to kind of bear with me here because I want to accommodate the guests that we have and give them time to talk. But let me go ahead and start off by Ms. Felice, our secretary, if you could give the roll call, please.
Yes, Commissioner Cost. Here. Commissioner Morgan. Here. Commissioner Pickens.
Here.
Commissioner Prince.
Here.
Commissioner Wright.
Here.
Vice Chair Wicks.
Here.
Chair Lewis.
Yes, here. You have in front of you the minutes from the September 15th meeting. Hopefully everybody's had a chance to review them. I'll take a motion to approve the minutes. Motion to approve. Thank you. Thank you very much, Ms. Marshall.
Commissioner Cost.
Yes.
Commissioner Morgan. Okay. Commissioner Pickens.
Yes.
Commissioner Prince.
Yes.
Commissioner Wright.
Yes.
Vice Chair Wicks.
Yes.
Chair Lewis.
Yes. I'm going to just, again, divert a little bit. I'll give my remarks in a second. And then after that, we'll have the guest speakers speak, and then we'll go on with the rest of the meeting. But before we start there, I want to welcome Ms. Cynthia Morgan to the team.
Thank you.
Okay. And for the benefit of those that are here, I'm going to go around the room, and if y'all could introduce yourselves for Ms. Morgan and for the group, and maybe say about 30 seconds about yourself, and then we'll go from there. Okay. So Ms. Morgan, I'm going to have you up first, man.
Cynthia Morgan, and just got nominated, and I used to work here before, so I know few faces are very familiar. And I hope to be able to give back to my community.
Stephanie Wright, and I'm the second youngin. And welcome. And I also work for the Housing Authority in Chesapeake. And so look forward to working with you.
Cliff Pickens, third youngest, I guess. Less than a year on the board. And I'm a realtor by trade, contractor also. Kid of the city, born and raised here.
Vice Chair Wicks. I am the resident commissioner on the board. And I've been on this board about 2 years now, and I'm very proud to be a part of this team because I feel like we do a whole lot to help our community. I welcome our guests here, and whatever we can do to help, we're here and welcome.
And what housing did you live in?
I lived in Dale's home,
Okay.
and I am still, I'm not in Dale anymore, but I'm still under Section 8, so I am with you. So I would never look down on anyone. I don't think any of us will, but we're here to help.
Bruce.
Sure.
And I grew up in housing also. I grew up in Lincoln Park. So that's what drew my attention to the board. So as she said, I'm with you.
Mr. Prince.
Sean Prince, welcome aboard. I am a transplant to Portsmouth. Been on the board a few years now, so I'm a Historic Preservation Commission as well. Wasn't in any housing from here, but I lived in a 37 climb up in Cleveland, Ohio, so it was worked in American for 25 years and been in Portsmouth for 12 years.
Mr. Cost.
I am Zakita. I worked in housing for a while, under the private name, but I'm also an old resident. Just gave my voucher 4 years ago in Water House, so I understand too.
My name is Bruce Lalonde. I'm the chairman of the board. I've been the chairman for about a year. The longest serving on the commission right now. I've been on board about 5 years. I grew up in Hodges Manor, went to Harry Hunt, Hodges Manor Elementary, Harry Hunt, went to Woodrow Wilson High School. So I'm a local, and I'm real proud to be here on this board to serve the close to 12,000 people that we have living in public housing. All right. As far as my remarks go, the two areas that I have personal concern about are the what's happening in our housing with security. We haven't had the incidences this past month, all right? We brought aboard, we're down 2 people as far as security goes. We're down 2 people on our security team. I know we're trying to hire out, but altogether, just so y'all know, we're down 12 people altogether. With the commission, with the authority altogether, to include maintenance workers, property managers. We're having a hard time trying to find people to work at all. So we're down 12 people. We've got, the second one is I'm very concerned about evictions. We've got, Mr. Bland, now that the RPP money is done, people don't have access to rental money anymore. So with y'all's permission, I'd like Mr. Bland to brief us both very thoroughly on what's going on, our security matters. I'd like Mr. Bland to brief us, who's our executive director, brief us very thoroughly on evictions. I'd like to have a meeting on November the 10th at 6 o'clock to talk just those 2 matters, evictions and security. Okay. Is that okay with everybody?
What time is it?
6 o'clock. Oh, look, 6 o'clock or 5 o'clock? What's comfortable for y'all?
5.
5? Okay. 5, okay. So we're gonna talk security, up to date on everything security, and then also on our evictions. 5315 High Street, which is the house that we bought in Churchland. We had all 3 air conditioning units stolen from there. That's one of the problems. Would you leave a place empty, people steal stuff. So those things are gonna probably cost us, if we have to replace them, those things run about $7,000 a piece. So we had already somebody steal some stuff from there. Swanson, still very difficult with Swanson and trying to get the move outs. You know, we're trying to close down Swanson, trying to knock it down. Mr. Bland is working with some rental companies to see what we can do to help those folks, at Swanson. Let's see. When it comes to, security, a couple things I want to bring up. This is, of course, as y'all know, this is one of the first meetings that we've had in this building in the last year. For your benefit, Ms. Morgan, in the last year, we've tried real hard to get into the community, right? So we're hearing what the residents want. We've had meetings at Lexington and Dale at the community center there. We had a special meeting here to talk about security. We had about 20 people attend to talk about security. We've had a meeting at Seaboard. We've had a meeting at Phoebus. We've had a meeting at Hamilton, right? So we don't wait for people to come to us. We go to them, all right? And we get them to talk to us pretty adamantly about what their concerns are. In the last year, we've had 2 police walks at Dale, right? We have Mercy Drops, which is one of the nonprofits, talked to us last week specifically about Dale and Swanson. And they're also doing walks in Dale and Swanson. And then much to my chagrin, and I know I've gotten comments from all of y'all, I probably drive through Dale probably 3 times a week, all right? Just to see what's going on, concerned about the issues out there. I've gone out twice to the bus stops to talk to the folks at the bus stops, all right? Not that I have any answers, all right, but just trying to make sure that, hey, what's going on out there. For the first time in 3 months, the resident advisory board, while it's one thing for us to talk and for us to go out, there is a resident advisory board of all the homes, of all the areas. They finally met for the first time last month, all right? There's a member on it from Seaboard. There's a member on it from Phoebus. There's a member on it from Dale. And what's this other one here?
Yes, Seaboard.
Seaboard. So those are the presidents of those advisory boards met. What's unusual from their minutes, they talked about everything but security. So it's hard when we're not getting that input. Okay. So I just wanted to let y'all know that hey, I think we're again, I'm not saying we're perfect at all, but trying to do the best we can. But thank you very much for listening to me. Okay. Public speakers, PRTA allows public speakers up to 5 minutes to speak, and I'm going to move this way up in the agenda to allow public speakers to speak. And Do we have any public speakers online? No? And just so let y'all know, this is televised. Our hearings are televised. It's required by state law that we be televised. So it is available if y'all want to look at it on YouTube. Is that right?
Yeah.
YouTube, okay,
On our website.
and the website, okay. Right. Ms. Britt, you had some things here. I've been advised 5 minutes, but you would ask for a few more minutes, so you got it, ma'am. Yes, ma'am. Say again?
Please, by all
Yes,
means.
ma'am, please.
My name is Angela Britt, and I'm a resident of the city of Chesapeake. I have family live in, the Portsmouth area, which has become a very important concern for the family and their safety. I put together because it's just so alarming to hear so many kids dying and being killed out there. I thank you for your time today, sir, because your presentation or your meeting caught inherent with what I'm about to say and what I'm about to present. You stated that you go out there and you drive around 3 times a week. That's great. Thank you so much for doing that. But you need to be out there when that stuff actually is happening. Maybe if everybody just, rest or out and about. But when stuff is actually happening, that's when someone really needs to be out there to witness these things. I thank you for mentioning the advisory board because I did a little research about the advisory board. And this presentation is for my family that can't speak for themselves and how it has affected our family and these other people's families. The advisory board meets, I understand, once a month with the Portsmouth Redevelopment Housing Authority. This is the first time I heard that they have met, actually. I understand COVID and all that, but we're glad they are meeting. I understand they discuss concerns, activity, problems that are affecting the residents in their community, which is their home. Are they actually discussing crime and the killings that's actually happening out there? Or are they just watching on the news? Because we would like to know. The residents want to know, are there concerns, gang activities and gang violence being addressed in these meetings, which is very important. You also said Portsmouth Redevelopment Housing Authority states that they assist in both apprehensive and prosecution of criminal offenders by giving out citations and lease termination. Lease termination. Let's talk about the lease termination within the Dale's home community, because when I was growing up in the projects years ago, we was in 2 months at home. You had to have everything clean, spotless, nothing could be out of whack unless you get thrown out and your shoes not in place when they do their inspections. What happened to that? Lease determination is kind of like a joke for a lot of those people out there because ain't nothing going on and nothing happening when they violate their neighborhoods. Like I said, what a joke within the Dale's home community. These family members, and this is a fact that they live out there. I went out there and took pictures. This side, this street right here is the main street where all the crime is being handled. Understand that unseen tears has got Portsmouth, the city of Portsmouth put up cameras, which is outstanding, which is great. But this street right here is like just a one-way in and a one-way out. I went out there myself and I'm just out here taking my pictures and I'm looking at these people sitting in their cars. These are actually gang members. Packed. I was scared to even go drive up in there, but I was like, you know what? Thank you, Lord. You can't let that intimidate you and put that kind of thing. But it really is a joke, okay? So Portsmouth Redevelopment Housing Authority, what are you gonna do about that? We know they housing them there. How can you stop gang violence when you are housing them? Why is that after a gang shooting activity, these same gang members run inside their residence where they live? Where they live out there. So right after the shooting, with the cameras being just put up for 3 months, after the shooting, that's why the police can't catch them, they run in the house. But now with the cameras out, they can kind of like pinpoint where these people are at. I have spoke to the police chief of Portsmouth, okay, they was just involved in a gun violence or incident. But the police can never catch because they live out there. That's just too simple. But the Portsmouth Redevelopment Housing Authority, how are you addressing these major concerns and problems within Dallas Home Community, gang activity and gun violence. Okay, under, Virginia Code 19-2-13, that you have trained officers and certified by the by the Department of Criminal Justice Services. They have full arresting power and they also have investigating power. Why are we not talking about we're not talking about the Portsmouth Police Department. We're talking about the police officers that the city criminal justice services has hired. Where are these officers at? And when do they patrol? Officers hired by the Criminal Justice Service to proactive patrol all managed properties, Portsmouth Redevelopment Housing Authority. I never seen it. And those are some of the questions that people in Dallas Home would like to know. Dallas Home community, the citizens want to know. So where are these patrol officers? What hours do they patrol Dallas Home? The Dallas Home citizen community really would like to know that because their children are being killed, shot, and everything else. So, y'all having y'all meetings, but the real things that really need to be addressed and not to take anything from any of the other things that you have discussed, this needs to be addressed. We are killing, these kids are killing each other. What are the Dallas Home gonna do about this? What are the redevelopment? This is your property. This is this is your property. Southside Garden, Dallas Home.
No, ma'am. Southside Garden.
Okay, well then Dale's Home, Swanson Home, okay? Those are your property, but this is the one right here that has the most crime. The most crime, I understand y'all have a public safety building right on the premises, right? I went back there and I checked it out. They put the cameras up, that's great, everything is being monitored throughout the whole Dale's Home is being monitored. But you got a public safety office building back here that no one is, I think you have one employee working there. And what is their hours? I think this needs to be monitored every time, 24 hours until you get some kind of control under this killing. It's just horrifying that these young kids are killing themselves. I don't understand, does the Redevelopment Housing Authority even think about that? 'Cause we would like to know. We want, well, so we need to know, what are you gonna do about it? Okay, what are the redevelopment housing doing to keep their children and their grandchildren safe? What? I don't see no reinforced action going on, or y'all out there doing something, do whatever, just do something. When the residents can allow their children to go outside to play because of the gang activity and gun violence within their community, or residents are too afraid to allow their children to go outside to play because their children may be killed or shot. That's sad. So again, Portsmouth Redevelopment Housing Authority, what are you doing to address these concerns of the Dallas Home community and residents? What are you doing to curb or eliminate the gun violence in the Dallas Home residents to protect their families and loved ones? Are their concerns being even addressed in these meetings? This is Redevelopment Housing Authority. Y'all supposed to be the ones that mandating, went online, I looked at all y'all rules and regulations, but not one of them said, go out here and make sure that these families are safe. Clean up this gun violence. Y'all know where it's at. It's right here. We need someone mandating this building 24/7. Put that in your budget. They got the cameras up, they get unforeseen here, but we need more. We need somebody to mandate that building. Gun violence, people are terrified out there.
I'll give you 3 more minutes. Ms.
Okay,
Brooks.
thank you
very
so much, sir.
Yes, ma'am.
So we already done talked about the gun violence and all of that, public safety. Portsmouth Redevelopment Housing Authority, you have a public safety building right there on Dale's Home premises. This is being staffed by one employee. The residents want to know, what's the hours of operation? And when did that person go home? It becomes even more dangerous. The public safety building should be mandated 24 hours. Again, I mentioned about they got the cameras put out there. Wonderful. I would like to give thanks again to the nonprofit organization Unseen Tears for their hard work and getting surveillance cameras installed. The city of Portsmouth also have license plate trackers. They track these people as they come in, along with the camera. But other things need to be done. This is the main street. Hold that sign up. Right here, all these signs in here, no trespassing, do not enter, you gotta have a permit, they sitting out there packing. In their cars, this is the only place all these killings is taking place. Right here, I rode around the whole place, I didn't see no signs nowhere, that one street, something has to be done. The kids are killing each other. How can we save the next generation and to take a village to raise a kid, we're the village. Yeah, times have changed, we have to change. So thank you for the opportunity for this. I get real passionate about this. My grandson just got killed. God is good. It's something I have to be done. Thank you so much.
Thanks, Ms. Britt. Ms. Britt, thank you. Thank you. I am not gonna, you come at us, I'm gonna give you a little bit coming at you, all right? Year and a half ago, we had a 18-year-old boy gunned down, drive-by shooting in Swanson, about 9 o'clock in the morning, all right? We all got that call with about 3 minutes after that. The only reason the police even knew anything about that car is because we installed the cameras at Swanson. We did here. We made the commitment here that we're going to get out of the housing business for a while and we're going to install cameras. So those cameras you see at Dale, those cameras you see at Swanson, Seaboard, Hamilton, we invested housing money to put that in.
Right.
That's why we had to have the meetings with the residents, because I needed to tell them, you're going to be asking me about plumbing problems. You're going to be asking me about pest problems. I'm going to spend money. We are going to spend money on security, right? Then when the 14-year-old boy was shot coming off the bus at Seaboard, all right, that really got our cackles up. What can we do now, as you said, because we've got 2 people that lived in housing. I leaned on them. What can we do? Well, we need to hire security people because the police are 88 people short.
Yes.
So now we got to get into the security business. I didn't know I was in the security business, and I'll be honest with you. I don't know security stuff. I know money, I know housing, but this commission decided, this authority decided, we're going to get into the security business. So we hired, as you said, 5 security people, got them run through the courts, made sure they could carry guns, all right? And we are trying the best we can to work with the police to cover those folks at all our properties, all right? Then when we had the 2-year-old child killed in the house because the woman had a hair salon in there, I threw up my arms and I go, I'm not in the houses. How, as you said, how do we stop the people that are not supposed to be in the houses? We could put up all the signs that you got. Signs ain't gonna stop people, all right? So Mr. Bland and his team started going out to all these resident advisory meetings and bus stops and saying, you guys have got to help us because we're not the ones putting those people in those houses. Y'all are letting them in. They're
Yeah.
visitors.
That's true.
So a month ago, we went into Dale and any car that had a license plate that was expired, you know, had a paper license plate, we put signs on their cars saying, you don't belong here. And then we went back 2 weeks later and we towed those cars. I'm going to tell you, I got 10 phone calls saying you're a bad person because you towed those cars. Well, I don't know who you are. You're not on the lease. How do we stop that? All right. I've talked to you before about the resident advisory committees. We're trying to do the best we can. Ms. Britt, I don't have solutions. All right. I don't. I'm going to keep on driving by. We're going to keep on having meetings at Dale's. We're going to spend and I want your comments. I want you to challenge us so we can come back to you and say, hey, I can't figure that one out. Okay. Please let us know. These meetings, as we said, the 3rd Thursday of every month. Please come to us. You know, lecture us, compliment us, pat us on, whatever you want to do. We're going to meet again in 2 weeks to talk about 2 things, security and evictions.
Thank you.
Okay, because that's going to get ugly right now.
That's good.
Okay, we're down $585,000. We have to maintain these homes. We got to pay salaries. What am I going to do? You know, put yourself in our shoes. What are we going to do with those 240 families who are behind on their rent? What are we going to do? And I've asked, we have an attorney on board and we're going to try and do the best job we can, but we're going to stink it up.
Yes,
There's going to be at least one family that we're going to stink it up and somebody's going to come in here and beat us. That's okay. We're all volunteers here. You heard all of us, we're all citizens of Portsmouth. We have a responsibility, not just to the 12,000 people who live in our housing, we have a responsibility to 94,000 people in this town. Because the gangs in Dale fight the gangs at Southside, we know that. But I can't, I don't know what, I'm not a police guy. You know, so, Ms. Britt, I'm not taking light anything you say, but my finger's on the pulse, ma'am. And anybody that gets hurt out there, I'm on top of it. This group is on top of it, because as soon as we hear about it, people get a call here, okay? I'm not apologizing for what we do. I want you to come here, all right? But, Mr. Bland, I want you, if you don't mind, Mr. Bland, if you could take Ms. Britt outside and, you know, get his phone number, make the call, all right? But please, this is a city problem, all right? And the housing is a microcosm of the city, and we got good people that live here.
Yeah,
Good people,
but this,
you know?
the housing is also affecting these people because nothing is being done. And it's like generations after generations, another family's being, raised and it's just like on and on.
But let's Mr. Bland teach about that, because we've got programs that we're trying to get out of that. We're trying to let them use their vouchers to go do other things with it that they don't, but, I went to Portsmouth schools. Everybody here I play ball with them. I go to church with them, all right? I'm here. I didn't move, all right? So, Ms. Bree, I just gotta say thank you. Okay, I'm gonna, any of the commissioners, have anything to say? No?
I can answer your question. You just asked, are we looking for solutions? Yes, we're looking for solutions. And a lot of the solutions can come from the residents. Like I said, I grew up in it. Some of us made it out. I have family and close friends that didn't make it out.
Right.
And most of my family's still here, living in it.
We'll
So
bring you back some solutions.
I appreciate it.
We'll bring you back some solutions.
And we're willing to spend the money, because, just like these cameras you have here, when we put them up, we found out? The city's IT couldn't connect us with the police department. I don't know what to do with that kind of stuff, all right? At this meeting, Ms. Britt, we're supposed to have 2 council members here. They have attended almost 2 years. Okay? I can talk about it and I'm good at talking. I'm real good, all right? But I need people to help me.
Yeah,
And I have to look to council, because they're the ones who they put us here,
right.
we volunteered and they put us here. But it's hard when you want help if they're not here to listen to it. But I just want to give you 2 examples about security. Phoebus, we were starting to have a real problem at Phoebus. And what we found out? The residents were opening up the back door in the middle of the night so that people could get in without going through the front door. I don't know how to solve that kind of stuff. This young person that got killed, the 2-year-old that got killed, the lady running a beauty salon in her house. I don't know how to solve that kind of problem. Okay, so it's one of those, we all got it. It's all of our problems, right? And as Commissioner Pickens said, any solution, come at us, okay? All right?
And I would just like to say, Ms. Britt, I thank you, all of you, Unseen Tears. I attend the council meetings. I hear you. And I'm not doing this for no glitz or glory. This is personal to me. When I lived in Dale, it was just 2 years ago, and I lived on that street that you're talking about. I have 3 videos on my phone right now of shootings right in front of my door. I know what it's like not to be able to let my grandchildren outside because I'm afraid something's gonna happen on that dead end street. I hear you, we hear you, and don't think for 1 second we don't care. But like Mr. Lunde said, we're doing all that we can, and please keep coming. There is no end to what we can do. We're gonna do all that we can to help, and my condolences go out to you and any of you who've lost loved ones. I'm really sorry.
Your group, is there anyone else that needs to speak? Yes, ma'am, please.
My name is Deborah. And I'm a mother of a child that was killed on the street of Portsmouth. I believe you when you say the city council sent us here. They got tired of us and told us, go to redevelopment house. You guys need to hear this. They said, go to redevelopment house, there's nothing we can do here. They control all your presentation to redevelopment housing. They want to handle things. But I'm a product of housing. And back in the day, when we were scared to even bring a man's sock in the house.
Yes, ma'am, absolutely right. Yes, ma'am.
You know, because maintenance, we were thinking maintenance just coming here to see what it, you know, there's nothing happening. Nothing happening. They even had a little holding cell in each project area. So if anything go off in that project, they had a holding cell they had made from one of the units, so the police could hold them there until someone come in and pick them up. And I listened to the police scanner like faithfully. People be calling me, what happened? If you listen to your Portsmouth police scanner, they don't even come out here.
Mhm.
30, 40 shots fired, over 100. And I'm listening. That was my nephew that was talking about, and I didn't even know that. They didn't go out, they don't come out unless you did.
Yes, ma'am.
No complaints. No, if you don't call them and say, complain about it, they're not gonna come out.
Sure.
So it's nothing,
It's a systematic problem.
yeah.
It's not just a redevelopment housing.
But maybe it could be solved. Mr.
It can be
It can be
solved.
solved. I am not gonna give up.
Not when city
Not gonna
hall,
give up.
city hall, it ain't have nothing to do with how y'all run Portsmouth.
Ma'am, they put us on this board. Right, so what does that tell you?
But they
Sure.
said they sent us here.
And they own some of the streets. They don't own all the streets. These, the city of Portsmouth own a good amount of them.
Right, Ms. Britt, thank you very much.
Thank
So
you.
we'll give you a couple minutes to, if anybody wants to stay, please, we'll be here for another hour and a half if you'd like to stay. All right,
Thank you for your time.
Ms. Britt, thank you. God bless.
You guys, I'm so excited, I forgot to pray, so, I know you saw my prayer.
Okay,
If I enjoy all day.
thank you.
Thank you.
Yes, ma'am, thank you.
They trying to change, they asking for
Yeah,
help.
y'all do need to put a stop to it though,
Yeah.
because it's just, I'm bringing real time to get.
We're gonna give it everything
Sometimes
we
they
got.
come quick for a robbery.
Yes,
I done did my time locked up too. They came quick when I had to rob the different color van, but when my cousin got killed, he didn't come.
That's what.
You're not letting the people still walk the street. Some people ain't got nothing to live for. I ain't got nothing out my cousin.
That's what I keep going.
hopefully you're all okay with my comments there, but, I'm so proud of y'all. I mean, I really am. And, I just think she just got a lot of bad information. Right?
Well, we-
But
we
that's,
still need
that's
to
okay.
remind
That's
them
we're in the business of putting out information.
We still need to remind them that there are limitations to what
Yeah.
the board or the housing authority can do.
Right, thank you very much. And I comment again, we do not have our city council liaisons here. And, I know it's been a good year and a half or so since I've seen either one of them at one of these meetings. So I would encourage you all, if y'all know them as I have, encourage them to come. All right. Committee remarks, Ms. Morgan, I've broken the group down into committees, all right? And, what I look for y'all to do, and I don't know which one, do you remember which ones I put her on? You're on the happy committee, I think. But we'll be placing in one of the committees here, we'll place on one of them. And what I look for you to do is liaison with the staff and then report out in that particular area, okay?
Can you go back to those committee members?
I don't, finance, I know myself and Mr. Pickens are on finance. Who do we have on development? Okay, all right, good, all right, who's on, you get that? Peter and Steph? Human resources, I know you, and would you, Zakita, were you on?
Me.
I changed this.
Are you, okay, thank you, okay, uh-huh. Housing,
Me and Pickens,
okay, good. Governance is gonna be you and me,
okay,
okay, all right,
governance.
and then security, who did I put on security? Okay,
Probably Miss Morgan.
okay, Ms. Morgan, I created a new committee for security, okay? All right.
Okay,
Okay, we're gonna talk finance first. Mr. Pickens and I met with the, Mr. Reyes, our CFO. Did you present the package to everybody? Did you get back to everybody? That's right, we're still about a month away from getting the detail that you're looking for on finances. Okay, but we are giving you, he's giving you a sample under Hope Village, under the Hope Village package. There's a sample of what we're gonna look like. You could take a look at it and make sure it's what you would like to see. It breaks down individually what the individual expenses are for a particular one, all right? So the sheets that you have now, I'm just gonna go over the top sheet. and really from a 30,000 foot level, we're profitable. We're profitable right now. This is this one sheet here, right? We're profitable as an organization, right? I've asked the Mr. Reyes to really drill down to make sure it's a good picture. I've asked Mr. Reyes if he could drill down even more to make sure those numbers are in fact correct, all right? They look a little high to me. I know the staff has worked very, very hard the last year and a half on the finances. If y'all don't remember, a couple years ago, we really were struggling with finances. Good news, bad news. The one is that we have $585,000 in delinquent rents. That's about 240 families that are delinquent. We're gonna have Mr. Bland on the 10th of November brief us in excruciating detail about what our position is gonna be on those 240 families, all right? As I told y'all, we got about 12 vacancies, which is tough too, all right? So we've got double-edged sword that we've got rent that's probably gonna come down, but on the other hand, expenses are gonna go down, but it's because we don't have people, all right? But again, just from a 30,000 foot level, you'll see each one of the categories there are all showing profit. Westbury Cottages, that was a mistake there. They're down, we can say 13,000, Mr. Reyes? 19,000.
19.
So all the numbers are correct, but starting next month, you're gonna see this detail sheet on every one of them. It gives the expenses on every one of them, okay? We're still looking for the 2020 audit to be finalized, and we're looking for the 2021 audit to be finalized. We're getting delays from the CPA firms, and they're short on people, and they're having a tough time getting us our numbers.
We just got ours. So.
Yeah, that's, so. Okay, was there anything else, Mr. Reyes, you'd like to say? Okay, Ms. Blaine, was there anything on the finance you want to say?
No, but I think that, the chair just said, can give you a better view when you meet on the 10th. We have that quite a bit of money outstanding. And that's mainly due when the COVID came, the courts kind of shut down, not doing any evictions. And so family just, a lot of family men that lost an income, they just decided not to pay no rent. I'm sure, I'm sure that, that happened to a lot of housing authorities. And so now we are in the mood of get ready to go full force to try to get this money in. So you probably will be getting called from residents in reference to how come the housing authorities want us to pay the rent. Well, they can't, you can't live someplace free. And we have in place a family lose income, we adjust the rent accordingly. We have other deductions, we give utility allowance, we have child deduction, we have mine deduction. So we do everything on our end to make the rent compatible to what their income is. So we will be talking more about that on November 10th. I'll give you, as the chair would say, down and dirty where we are, deep dive. And I think we had two of you who was, three of you who work for the housing authority, so you can relate to what I'm saying. Or if you're in the private sector, you in the rental business, you can relate to what we're saying. Yeah.
How do we collect on the offset debt program? We get money back from.
Yes, ma'am, we're looking pretty good right now. It's on the, if you saw the significant activity reports, the fifth item down, they've collected a little over $6,000 so far this year.
Yeah.
So collection. So that seems to be, is that you, Ms. Adams? Who
No,
handles?
that's fine.
Val, yeah, Val's very aggressive. Val's very aggressive.
Yes, she is.
Mr. Bland also and Mr. Reyes will be making a recommendation to us probably the next meeting about pay raises for the staff. Numbers are few, but they've done great things. Okay. Development, who's going to handle development?
Yeah.
Security.
Talk about first the Lincoln senior property. We presented funding to our city council on September 27th, still pending. Meanwhile, we have been preparing other funding applications for funds from Department of Housing and Community Development. Also, the building plans are 85% complete and we expect to finish by the end of the year and select a general contractor for the project. Also for the senior housing development on High Street, we have been working with the Churchland community to coordinate a meeting on October 27th to discuss the project and receive community feedback. As for Swanson, we have continued to work on redevelopment plans that will start after relocation is complete. We submitted a grant request and was approved for funding to pay for upfront design and site planning costs. The design will start in November and we'll work with the neighborhood civic leagues and residents to get input. The rest of the properties are discussed in closed meeting.
Okay, thank you. Housing?
You know, I have, the update on the current activities. The Housing Choice Voucher Program is continuing to work on mainstream and emergency housing voucher holders in their search for housing. Portsmouth Department of Social Services has provided us additional referrals for families that may be eligible for the Family Unification Program, and we will continue contacting these families to determine eligibility. We are continuing to update household and income information for voucher issuance to the Swanson residents that have chosen to receive tenant protection vouchers for relocation. A briefing has been scheduled to issue tenant protection vouchers to Swanson residents that have completed the process of updating their household information. And we are also continuing with the process to update and purge the wait list. In addition, the Housing Department was notified on October the 14th that the rental release program will no longer assist residents with outstanding rent balances. However, the Housing Department is actively filing unlawful detainees to all residents with outstanding rent balances.
Good, thank you. And we'll hold off on security until November the 10th. Get that full briefing, right? Mr. Blaine, you're up.
First, Karen and I, we met with the city attorney today to kind of do a little bit of talk about the corporate agreement that was last updated in 1956. So we are continuing to work. Hopefully, we're going to try to get that updated. I'm going to assume within the next 8 months, we hope to get updated. But that's very critical. We're paying taxes, a property tax on some of our property, and we're paying power on some. And so we want to try to get everything what we're paying power, because although the tax credit property, but we're serving the same clientele as if we know living in public housing. The other thing, you have a flyer with the staff. We're having our employee Christmas party December 16th at Roger Brown from 7 to 11. Remember at the last one, we had one council, we had one of the commissioners who danced all night. So,
One of these two right here. Yeah.
It's one, it's not the other. Twinkle toes.
so as you mark on your calendar, December 16th for the agency Christmas party at Rogers Brown. It was just mentioned that we will be we'll be following folks in court for them paying the rent. I hand out the holiday schedule for next year. You have that at part of your committee. So, and I hand out to you what the breakdown of where the outstanding rents are from the various communities. You have that in some of you also. On site today, we had a mortgage relief program here. I let them use space here today. I think they may have had maybe a dozen families showed up for mortgage relief. They called and just wanted to know if they could use our space for me, and I told them fine, you know, that would be fine. Special board meeting, November the 10th. The two items, as the chair just said, will be talking about outstanding rents, evictions, and crime. Those would be just the two topics for that particular meeting. And that's all I have.
Right.
But point of order, Chair, as well as speaking of the meetings, 3 of us will be gone on November 17th. So I think that we need to address that. Our regular schedule is on the 17th.
Well, the 10th, we could make that just
Can we make that a regular
we
meeting?
can make that a regular meeting.
That'd be okay?
Yeah.
Right, and we'll just try and limit the topics to just hopefully those two. Okay. All right, so the regular board meeting will be on the 10th. Is that all right? Good? All right, good, thank you. Thank you, that's good, thank you.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Dolores up now? Are you up, Dolores?
I have to buy some new shoes.
Oh, I'm sorry, before you lost go up, two items, I noticed some questions came about, the relocation vouchers, what are the, perks that we, give to our residents that's being affected by moving out of Swanson, so, Ms. Parker, director from, so HCV will kind of give you that, what we're required to do when it comes to relocating families because of government action.
Well, this is your first time briefing us, isn't it?
Yes,
Okay. This is good.
Yeah, it is. Hello, Karen. And commissioners, I just want to give a brief overview, very brief overview of the tenant protection vouchers for, the Portsmouth Redevelopment and Housing Authority's Housing Choice Voucher Program. The questions that, we're going to answer today is, what is a tenant protection voucher? Who qualifies for a tenant protection voucher? How many vouchers did Portsmouth Redevelopment and Housing Authority receive for Swanson homes? And the status of the residents currently living in Swanson home? And other projections or activity. So as I had to research myself, and I'll be honest with that, in reference to, the true definition of what a tenant protection voucher, sometimes phrased as a TPV voucher. These are vouchers that are provided to protect HUD-assisted families from hardship as a result of a variety of actions that may occur in HUD's public housing, the multifamily housing portfolios, and moderate rehab properties. That's HUD's basic definition, but personally, as it applies to our housing authority, it's relative to any adverse hardships that may happen for families who are being dislocated, relocated, or things such as demolition to Swanson. Who qualifies for a tenant protection voucher? Families residing in a unit that is impacted by one of the events triggering the tenant protection voucher, or who are eligible for such tenant protection vouchers. Families are not required to apply for the voucher. Instead, the eligible family will be admitted as a special voucher. So this is basically saying they are not required to be on our waiting list. It is a special voucher, so it is directly applies to the tenants at Swanson. So relative to Swanson homes, how many vouchers Portsmouth Redevelopment and Housing Authority received due to the planned demolition of Swanson homes? We received 209 vouchers. And these vouchers, after we have fully vacated the property, any vouchers that are left over in this count will become regular vouchers. So this is not, this count is not something that we have to turn back in if they, if residents or tenants choose not to receive a voucher. With that said, what relocation options were given to Swanson home residents? There were basically three categories, and this is basically, they were able to lease in any available PRJ unit that we currently have that was vacant or available. They had the option to receive a tenant protection voucher to move. And they also had the option to receive rental assistance or purchase assistance. This as defined by HUD. So in our properties, these three options were given to the tenants, and some of them may have changed their mind in the process. So that's one of the things, the adverse things that we're dealing with. But we do want our residents, we're being patient, to be placed where it is they
because of the circumstances where they are going to be placed. So some of the additional assistance includes moving assistance, whether it's assistance to have a moving, or you get a stipend if you choose to do it yourself. Application, we assist with application fees, down payments, for down payment assistance and utility assistance. Transportation assistance, even to search for vacant units.
Is there a cap on those amounts?
Well, we do have with our agency an amount that,
Well, for the fixed moving expense, so we can move the residents at whatever cost that is through the contractor. For those that want to move them themselves, it depending upon their bedroom size. So let's just say a 1-bedroom family, we would give them a check for $900.
Okay.
And I think maybe for 2, it might be 1,300.
yeah, I do have a chart. It is
Those are just for
some
expenses.
guidelines.
But yeah, for those
For the
expenses,
moving.
It is some guidelines per bedroom
Okay.
size in which they are given in order to move.
are those set by HUD or you guys set them?
They're by HUD.
Okay,
So it's 800, every resident gets $100 dislocation assistance allowance. And then for a 1-bedroom, they get 800 if they want to move themselves. They don't have to hire a company. They can get their friends or family. They can do that as well. For a 2-bedroom, it would be $1,000. So it goes up based on the bedroom size.
And keep in mind, that varies depending on location throughout the country, but like 800 here, if they were moving from New York, some of the property in New York, that could be probably close to $2,000.
absolutely.
Yeah, so it varies from
Okay.
jurisdiction to jurisdiction.
The current status, the status of residents currently living in Swanson as of October 25th. We have 35 families that have moved and been housed, 39, I'm sorry. We have 52 families that have tenant protection vouchers and are searching. We have 19 families who have requested tenant protection vouchers that we are still doing briefings, we're updating their information and trying to move them to the process of having a voucher in hand and searching. Currently, I think the last count we had in current residents, we had 85 vacant units in Swanson and 125 residents living on the property. So we still have a ways to go. And everybody, what I do know from being in this business, everybody's search is not the same. So we have to take our residents where they are, and we are working with them to move them where you have some who just are out and ready to go. So some, we have to move forward with patience in a different manner. So we have to take them where they are, but ultimately we do know everyone has to relocate.
Are you getting very many ports, people that want to port out?
They are allowed to port if,
They can go anywhere. I think they can go anywhere.
Correct.
And we've had quite a few, but then they end up coming back. Because I guess they couldn't find housing, where they desired to live. And so we'll send them to Chesapeake, we'll send them to Norfolk, we'll send them to, and then they come back if they can't find anything. So they can come back and forth. So in the meantime, they're just staying in Swanson until they find, somewhere to go.
And is there unlimited search time for them on the TPVs?
No, we've been extending, because we know the challenges,
Based on the circumstances.
with finding housing. So we'll extend the vouchers, but at some point we have to say, okay, it's not gonna be safe for people to live out there. We have 20 families out there and the whole row is, vacant and just one family. So we have to look at the safety of that residents. So that may mean moving them to another community,
Right.
temporarily until then.
Okay.
And that time's coming. I guess I'm waiting for y'all to tell me what date you're gonna put that out there, because it's gotta stop sometime.
yes.
It's gotta stop sometime now.
I'm-
I know, we've gotten approached by some certain rental companies that's saying they have housing that's available for everybody. Of course, what they say and what's actually available are two different things. But, I know we've stepped up our game here, trying to move through the lot. We've got to get people out there. It's dangerous now. It's gonna get even more dangerous when there's vacant
We've
units out
actually
there.
been reaching out to other localities, other cities, and
Yeah.
so we put their information up. Like Norfolk has a brand new apartment complex that's open. And actually, some of our participants we say, hey, try Norfolk. And they're putting their applications in like 40 going north. So I'd suggest maybe some outreach to other localities, maybe getting their list, here's another option for you if you're unable to find housing here in Portsmouth, just
Well,
whatever
if
you
there's
need.
if there's one complaint I have is we're being very kind and gentle. Or we really are, but, it's gotta stop.
Yeah,
But
but
I don't know how we, you can't really push it because then we stand to have the risk of getting in trouble with the feds.
Don't disagree. Don't
It's,
disagree. It's, well, and the
that's
and
not
the
something
economy
we can
is,
push.
gotcha.
Some of the things that we've come up with
Right.
was assisting them in finding properties, I know Mr. Bland creatively came up with, driving them around and in a van. And we have had a
Nice.
property management company to come speak, and they're coming to speak at our briefings. And they have like 60 properties throughout the area, so that does mean some may port. But we're trying to be creative with that, because even across the board, coming on board new, I can still say that for just a little bit longer. One of the challenges I'm seeing is that people with vouchers are having trouble, actually leasing up, and the availability of units that.
Got it.
Yeah.
So
Some of them, their credit is not, they're looking at the credit, where we might have looked at it years ago when they being in LIPH, now that's another thing, maybe pulling their credit reports to help them out.
Yeah.
You have some blemishes here, maybe, I don't know if they can there's some resources out there to help them, but at the end of the day, whatever we can do to try to get them, to push their housing search and have them ready. So I think sometimes looking at their credit, if they approve it, look at it, and that might help them.
That is a very generous package, Joe. That's about as generous as I've ever seen. Yeah.
So we have a briefing scheduled for next week. We've been doing updates, next, Monday, November the 2nd at 10 a.m. at Swanson. We're going to them at Swanson Homes Community Center. We're trying to get that 19 disappeared. Our main goal is we lease up. That's what we hear. And it's trickling down, and everybody is focused on that. When we get there, we're encouraging them to put themselves in a position to move forward. If they find something, to go ahead and move and make a choice as soon as possible. Even with the holidays coming, but we have a new place for the holiday. We're trying to do anything encouraging that we can. So that is our next briefing where we will be having.
Excellent. Thank you. Any questions at all? Any more questions? Thank you. Very good. Very good. Good knowledge. Good.
thank you.
Thank you. You all have a good evening.
Thanks for the- You have another one?
Yeah.
That was it? Yeah.
Yeah, Dolores.
Dolores. Finally, Dolores.
I know, I've been sitting on pins and needles. Good evening, everybody.
Good evening.
It looks like I got most of the resolutions today. I'm coming to you with, two resolutions for our development opportunities, new construction solicitation. We put out request for proposal 2022-05 for, so we can help find developers to help us build for sale, single-family homes on property owned by PRHA. So we asked them to provide us sample design and approve their financial capability to design and build these homes, but we selected them and they were requested to build them. So we advertised the RFP in EVA and on our website. Over 400 firms received the packages, and we received 2 proposals by August 31st when they were due. The 2 firms we received the proposals from were Premier Enterprise LLC and the Hickman Brand LLC. The selection committee, it was just made up of Philip Page, Bill Cobb, and Karen James, reviewed their proposals, and the decision based on the scoring was decided, we decided to award to both of them. They were selected as the most qualified because both firms have previous experience in developing new construction homes. Pyramid has actually developed homes in Parkview on land that they got from the Housing Authority. So we've had a track record with them. And they've also developed new homes in other areas of the city. for private homeowners, not just us. And the Hickman Group has built single-family homes throughout the Hampton Roads area and most of our neighboring communities. Several in Norfolk, Hampton, Newport News, and actually one here in Portsmouth. So we feel that both of these firms are quite capable of meeting the requirements of the solicitation. So we have resolutions before you to approve contracts with both Pyramid Enterprise LLC and the Hickman Brand LLC to build for our development opportunities in construction.
Questions? Minority firms?
Actually, both of them are. Pyramid is small and minority, and the Hickman Brand is small woman and minority.
I notice in writing of the resolution, enter into non-exclusive contracts. So even though we have them, we don't have to use them.
We don't have to use them solely.
Okay.
So if we have another proposal come in for someone that we really think is awesome. And I put that because I don't want to tie our hands so that we can't use other options.
Are we anticipating, do we have a horizon that we have property that we're thinking about putting single family homes in?
Yes, as you know, we've been trying to get rid of the vacant lots that we've had for a while. So some of them, I think we might only be able to get rid of them by building homes and selling them. And so that's the plan there, but we're not anticipating buying additional vacant lots.
Yeah, the big thing I'm seeing at some of these conferences I go to are these mini homes. Are we is that some of these lots, is that what we're looking at, or we're looking at the standard single family 800 square foot home?
Standing.
Okay, so we're not looking forward on tiny homes or container homes. We're not looking at that.
Straw.
Okay, I'm not saying y'all need to. I'm just saying you're just not looking at it right now.
No,
Okay,
but I don't think we need. I don't think the city had changed their codes those tiny homes.
okay, got it. No, that's right. That takes code.
They take a code change.
So we're ready to present these two resolutions then?
Yes.
Okay. So I have resolution 2022-54, resolution authorizing the execution of a contract for development opportunities, new construction services between Portsmouth Redevelopment Housing Authority and Pyramid Enterprise. I need a motion.
I'll make a motion to approve.
Got it. Okay, got it. Thank you. Mr. Prince. Right, Elise?
Commissioner Cost,
Yes.
Commissioner Morgan, Commissioner Pickens,
Yes.
Commissioner Prince.
Yes.
Commissioner Wright,
Yes.
Vice Chair Wicks.
Yes.
Chair Lalonde.
Yes. Resolution authorizing the execution of a contract for development opportunities, new construction services between Portsmouth Redevelopment Housing Authority and the Hickman Brand LLC. Need a motion? Motion to approve? Yeah.
Second.
Okay, Sakita's got it.
Commissioner Cost,
Yes.
Commissioner Morgan.
Yes.
Commissioner Pickens.
Yes.
Commissioner Prince.
Yes.
Commissioner Wright,
Yes.
Vice Chair Wicks.
Yes.
Chair Lalonde.
Yes. Priscilla?
The next resolution that I'm bringing forward to you is a different type of procurement action. This is cooperative procurement, and that's when we piggyback on an existing contract. And so, this resolution is for us to enter into a contract with Harvey Lindsay Commercial Real Estate for commercial real estate services. And they will assist the authority in the sale of our vacant commercial property. And Harvey Lindsay was competitively procured through a request for proposals by the Economic Development Authority of the City of Portsmouth, and I have received all their information. This contract was awarded through a process that meets all federal and state procurement standards, and the use of cooperative procurement allows the authority to utilize a contract that another public body has issued. And this provides the authority and other public bodies an opportunity to benefit from often discounted pricing because the contractor gets to have more business. So Harvey Lindsay is a commercial real estate company based out of Norfolk, Virginia. And they have, based on their contract with the City of Portsmouth, they will charge a commission of 5% with no agent, 6% if another agent is involved. This commission structure is in line with our independent cost estimate because it is, what we have done in previous contracts that we've had. And, previous experience, by Harvey Lindsay, commercial real estate, they've been involved in the commercial, the sale of commercial and industrial properties throughout this whole Hampton Roads area for over 50 years. And here in the city of Portsmouth, they were involved in Max One, ODU Model and Simulation Center, and the Tri-Center Higher Education Center. All that's right there off of, the West Norfolk Freeway. And they just entered into a contract with the city in May. Well, I think the contract was signed in August, though. So based on the selection criteria that we usually have and the city of Portsmouth had and recommendations, it is recommended that the authority enter into a contract with Harvey Lindsay Commercial Real Estate for the provision of commercial real estate services, through cooperative procurement, piggybacking off the city of Portsmouth contract.
Right, questions? Right now, we use Tavares.
We did not renew our contract with DeVar, so we do not currently have a contract.
So the signs that have Tavares's name on it are all gonna come down?
They're gonna
And
come.
Harvey Lindsay's signs are gonna go up?
On properties we released to them.
So what about
Yes.
the properties that have the Tavares signs on? it?
Their fines are going down, and Mr. DeVar assured me that they should have been down, so they're overdue, so they will revoke.
So if, are we gonna offer, we're not offering all those to Harvey Lindsay?
I'm not aware, Philip could tell us which properties we're thinking about offering.
I guess the question is if we don't offer it to Harvey Lindsay, then what sign's gonna be on that property that says this property is available for sale through PRHA?
As far as signage, PRHA has its own for sale signs,
Yes.
and by default, we are the kind of agent of record on other properties. The DeVar signs, as Dolores mentioned, should have come down and will come down. The commercial properties that I think the board is familiar with, particularly at Victory Crossing, and even at High Street, are the ones that are targeted to be promoted by Harvey Lindsay. Should the board.
But does every property that we have that we want to offer for sale have a sign on it that says this property is for, will it have a sign that says the property is for sale?
No, every property that we have does not currently have a sign on it. There's lots that don't. The commercial lots are really what we're targeting.
Sure. And this is an exclusive contract. Lindsay's got it all.
Well, actually,
We'll
in
have it
no, in the contract that they're signing, it does say that they do not have exclusive right to all PRHA funds.
Okay,
That's actually in our contract.
okay, good.
So once again, that gives the ability that someone else comes along.
The properties that we list with them, they will have exclusive.
Correct.
Exclusive.
So if we're not listing all properties with them, then we're going to, as he said, PRHA is going to be the agent for the sale of the other properties, and we're still actively promoting those properties for sale without an exclusive commercial broker.
Exactly. And we get a lot of unsolicited proposals from people.
Right.
Yeah, Philip, when you get a chance, if you could just send that list again of all the properties that we have, whether they're for sale or not, just pass it all, give it to all the commissioners, so we know. All right, right, thanks, Dolores.
Thank you.
Thank you. So we have resolution 2022-56, resolution authorizing the execution of a contract for commercial real estate services between Portsmouth Redevelopment Housing Authority and the Harvey Lindsay Commercial Real Estate. I need a motion.
So moved.
Thank you. Second. Thank you. Thank you.
Commissioner Cost,
Yes.
Commissioner Morgan,
Yes.
Commissioner Pickens,
Yes.
Commissioner Prince,
Yes.
Commissioner Wright,
Yes.
Vice Chair Wicks,
Yes.
Chair Lalonde.
Yes. Right, we've already had our public speakers, and we're going to go into closed session for resolution 2022-57, resolution of intent to meet in closed meetings, whereas the Freedom of Information Act requires the Board of Commissioners can meet in a closed meeting for the discussion of the acquisition and disposition of publicly held property, where discussion in open meeting would adversely affect the bargaining positioning or negotiation strategy of the public body as set forth in section 2.2 of the Code of Virginia as amended. The matter for discussion is Commercial District 3. Now therefore be resolved that in compliance with the Virginia Code of Information and the above referenced section of Code, Board of Directors shall convene a closed meeting on October 27th for the discussion of the disposition, acquisition of publicly held property pursuant to Virginia Code, section 2.2. I need a motion.
Motion.
Good second.
Second.
Good. All right, let's vote.
Commissioner Cost,
Yes.
Commissioner Morgan,
Yes.
Commissioner Pickens,
Yes.
Commissioner Prince,
Yes.
Commissioner Wright,
Yes.
Vice Chair Wicks.
Yes.
Chair Lalonde.
Yes, good. All right, we're in closed session and y'all grab something to eat, something to drink, and we'll close the door for a couple minutes, and then we'll discuss.
Yes.